I'm not sure, to be quite honest with you. I'm hopeful, but at the same time, I'm simply not sure because, you know, the attention span of kids, obviously, is very, very low. And when you look at the sport of Major League Baseball, where we see the time that it takes to complete a Major League Baseball game, it's increased, if not incrementally, certainly closer to exponentially over the last several decades. And so when you've got games taking 3 hours long, if it's tough for people like myself and Skip and others to sit down and watch a game, it's going to be tough for young kids to do the same. And then if it's tough for them to watch it, what's going to be the interest in going out and playing it? Not to mention the fact that, you know, we have a challenging situation for Major League Baseball because we have to have somebody in place, and we're hoping that's new Commissioner-elect Rob Manfred, that we have to have somebody in place that's going to really focus and zero in on appealing to a younger audience and finding a way to do that. Because Major League Baseball has had the problem. In the early 90s or so, the average age for fans watching Major League Baseball was 44.8. As of right now, it's over 54 years of age. So what that essentially tells you is that it's the same audience that was watching baseball before. They're watching it now. The same people that were spending money before is spending money now. But they haven't successfully gone about the business of ingratiating themselves with a younger audience the way the NFL has, and obviously the National Basketball Association has. And that's why people are surmising that Major League Baseball is going to be on the decline because the interest is going to wane significantly, and there's something that needs to be done about that. You got reviving baseball in the inner city, along with other programs that Major League Baseball have involved itself in. So clearly it's a problem they recognize, and they want to do something to alleviate it. But what they've done, and I don't know how they can backtrack this, Skip, they've gone to the Dominican Republic and other places where you have dark-skinned individuals to play the sport of baseball, but you don't necessarily have African Americans, black folks right here in America. You haven't targeted that enough, apparently. So when we look at the black populace, we're confusing that sometimes with the African American populace.
I'm with you in everything you just said, and I'm going to take one more step. Although I'm very hopeful that this is a very positive sign, a new sign, I fear it's more of a blip than a trend.
Oh.
And I'm going to tell you again, and I've told you this several times, I grew up through an era of Major League Baseball in which black stars dominated the sport. And in those years, the game of baseball, and I know it was to some extent in your childhood, the game of baseball was very important to the black community in the United States of America. And I was a St. Louis Cardinals fan. Bob Gibson, my favorite player, but I had Lou Brock, Kurt Flood, Bill White, and then do I need to mention Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, Frank Robinson, Willie Stargell, Mudcat Grant, Vida Blue. I can go on and on and on. Black stars dominated through the 60s and into the 70s. Then what happened? Black and white kids discovered, oh, but football's a little more fun. It's much faster paced. It's a little more exciting. Basketball, much more exciting. Faster pace, faster road to fame and fortune in both sports. What happens to these kids as they get to high school and they're about to approach those ages, 13, 14, 15? How big a deal is high school baseball in most high schools? Not a very big deal. Can you be the big man on campus or in the hallways playing high school baseball? Not really, right? Am I right about that?
No.
Was it a big deal in your high school baseball?
Yeah, I got you.
Are you with me? Okay.
You know, listen, I'm with you.
So look,
go ahead.
This is my point all along has been, I do not for 1 second believe the sport of baseball or Major League Baseball is in any way racist here. I don't believe they're trying to shut out the African American kids in favor of cheaper talent from the Dominican or whatever. I just don't believe, I've never bought that. I just think kids, black, white, of all colors, just said, hey, this baseball is a little tedious, because it is. It's a little slow. I got to tell you, I had both games on last night. I had the NFL and the Little League game, and I kept glancing at the Little League game, and I said, God, they've been playing like an hour and a half, and they're only in the second inning. It's a little slow, and I think I'm happy to see that the black kids are just loving playing baseball. And I hope it's a trend, but I'm not sure. I'm not sold.
Well, Skip, I got a question to pose for you because I thought about this on several occasions over the last few weeks. I think that back in the day when you had, whether it was the Willie Mays, the Vita Blues, the list goes on, just like you said, there was an historical connection. It wasn't just a game itself.
Yep.
It was a game played with an incredible level of pride because Jackie Robinson integrating Major League Baseball in 1947, Larry Doby following him a couple of years later, or a year later. It was one of those situations, Skip, where even 10, 15, 20 years later, there was still a level of reverence to those individuals. And not only that, what it meant from a societal perspective, because obviously the NBA, football, the list goes on and on. Ultimately, all of those things would follow. I'm saying to you that along the way, I think money tainted it. Because what happened is there became so much money became involved in the sport because they had the most powerful players union.
Yep.
That essentially, when we talk about PC in the modern day era as it pertains to athletes, I would say the ultimate initiator of that were Major League Baseball players because there was so much money involved.
I agree.
People learned about the business of making money, therefore muzzling the athletes because you could show them the money if you were muzzled. And as a result, the attention to detail about history got lost in the shuffle. As a result of that, it was just about playing the game. And if it's just about playing the game, it ain't as entertaining to a lot of young minds as basketball and football. You felt a responsibility to participate in that sport before. They don't feel that now.